SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
Welcome back, Spartan Nation Radio. It's now time for the good, the bad, and the ugly with Spartan football. Let's bring in the man, the legend, the way of life, a man who literally has to shave his chest hair with a lawnmower. He is the ultimate. In fact, he's not even Italian, and Sylvester Stallone bows at his feet and calls him the original human stallion, not just Italian stallion. The great Coach Chuck Grenier, legendary State of Michigan high school football, prep basketball, and football coach. Hi, Coach.
How you doing today, Hazel?
What do you say it like that for? It's not my fault you're a legend.
I guess, yeah.
Wait, what does I guess mean? Come on, give yourself some props here.
Well, the lawnmower thing, that was pretty funny. I like that.
All right, good. Becky likes it too. That's why she married you. Yeah. All right, Coach. You've seen a lot coming out. Spartan Nation's had a ton of coverage at camp. What do you like early coming out of camp?
Well, there's a lot of interviews that you put up on the board. I really like them. I like how.
Coach, your phone went out for a minute. Sorry about that. Let's try it again. There's a lot of what?
There's a lot of interviews that you're putting out right now. How's that? Does that sound all right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. A lot of interviews. It sounds like the players are excited about the season, that one of the things that they're keying on is unity, team spirit, team togetherness. There's some good information that you hear in there about some of the veteran players talking about some of the freshmen coming in and how they're progressing and what the players' evaluation, which is always the best evaluation you're going to get in those interviews. The players' evaluation of who's doing what and who might be able to play right away. So I'm really excited on hearing those and listening to those interviews. It's a lot of information that is coming out.
Coach, for you, I'm not a person who is moved by bravado, because I've seen teams that had a lot of bravado. For example, going into the 16 season. And I told you privately before that year, I thought it was going to be a bad year for the Spartans. They didn't even go to a bowl. But there is a lot of bravado around this team. There's a lot of confidence, isn't there?
I think so. I think they have a legitimate chip on their shoulders this year after last year. I think that did not sit well with the players all winter long, and they're out to prove something. One of the most telling ones, I thought, was the defensive players. As good as the defense played last year, and they're expected to play this year, they all seem to be pretty down to earth, realizing that they can, from watching film, getting prepped for this season, and looking over what happened last year, that they can get a lot better. So that was really encouraging to hear the defensive players not willing to sit on their hands and just let it happen again, but to do themselves a favor and to really work hard and get better for the upcoming season.
Coach, you may remember a couple of weeks ago we had you on the show, and I asked you for your predictions on how you thought the Big Ten West was going to fall out. Do you remember doing that with us?
Yes.
So now I want to switch it around a little bit on you. Let's look at the Big Ten East. Who do you think wins it? I know you said you thought Michigan State was going to beat Michigan, so who do you think wins the Big Ten East?
Well, you're going to have to, I think in order to win the Big Ten, you got to go through Columbus this year. Columbus, they recruit outstandingly every year. The defense is pretty much intact. The offense is pretty much intact. You know, they pretty much reload down there in Columbus. So I would have to think if you're going to win the Big Ten this year, I think the road to Indianapolis goes through Columbus, Ohio.
All right, so you agree with me and Johnny Shop, Ohio State will win it. I want to see if you agree with me and Johnny Shop on who finishes second. Who do you think finishes second in the Big Ten East?
That is going to be, right now, the favor, of course, of the Big Ten and all the people that are talking out there is going to be Michigan. It's going to be the favor. And I'm really optimistic that the offense at Michigan State will be much better this year than they were last year. I think there's a couple things that have happened offensively that makes them going to be a lot better. And so I think Michigan State has a really good run. If that offense does improve to, I know that you've been talking about it in the interviews and everything, if they're a top 50 offense in the nation, a top 50 is all they have to be with that defense, I think Michigan State could come a second in the Big Ten.
That's what me and John Schopp predicted as well. Great minds think alike, because me and John Schopp agree. In third place, me and Schopp agree on this one. Who do you think finishes third?
Well, if Michigan doesn't get there, it's got to be Michigan on that. They definitely have maybe the leading quarterback in the league, and that really is that is a tipping point for me. I think Patterson is a really good quarterback. He's dangerous with his feet and legs. He's dangerous with his arm, and they have some. They like Ohio State. They recruit well every year, so they reload instead of waiting a year or two to recycle through. So
now,
it would be Michigan, I would think, would be number 3.
John and I also agree at number 4 with Penn State. Who do you think?
Yes, I think you're right on that one, too. Penn State has great talent. He recruits that region really well, probably. And again, we've talked about this before. Does less with more than any other coach in that side. So I would go along with Penn State.
I'm going to tell you this. If Penn State had Ryan Day, Jim Harbaugh, or Mark D'Antonio, I think they would win the Big Ten East. I think their talent is as good as anyone, and I like their schedule. I just think James Franklin is a terrible coach. Good recruiter, terrible coach. At number 5 and 6, this is where John and I disagree. At 5, I have Indiana. And at 6, I have Maryland. He has Maryland 5 and Indiana 6. Your thoughts?
I think Maryland's going to be, they've had players. They just need to get somebody in there that can really sync with the players. And Loxley said a few good things when I was watching the interview with Loxley. And I really liked his attitude. I liked what I saw with what the players were thinking. The players are excited to have Loxley there. And I think the information and the time he spent down in Alabama is going to pull them through to be that team over Indiana.
And lastly, Rutgers, to me, they're just an embarrassment to the Big Ten.
Yeah, they have a lot of problems. Again, a team that should be able to recruit. It's not like in Illinois in the West Division on that one. An awful lot like it. They've got talent. They could really get somewhere in the Big Ten, but they just can't seem to put it together. So I think they're coming in last again.
Coach, who's going to be the first coach fired this year in the Big Ten? John and I agree Chris Ash, in the Big Ten East, is probably on the hottest hot seat, and Lovie Smith at Illinois. Who do you think out of the West?
Well, here's the deal. I think it's going to be Ash, and I'll tell you this. When we talked about this in one of the other interviews on this one, Illinois has been stumbling and bumbling for so long, and they have such a talent-rich region that they're in, an area in Chicago. At Illinois, if you want to get better, quit firing the coach and quit starting over again each time. And I think it's going to be asked. I think Illinois is coming down to that decision now. If they were going to fire the Illinois coach, they should have did it last year. Now he's back again, and so might as well keep Lovie there and see what he can do. But quit firing coaches, trying to start over again. Just not getting anywhere.
The good, bad, and the ugly. That's the great coach, Chuck Grenier.